Hujambo, Karibu, for coming in with another story, boo-boo. Okay, let's do this random story picker. You guys ready? Oh, what the hell? It just chose the story I just told about the dreams. Again, it just picked the story I just told about the bike crash. Okay, here's a silly story. This is a silly coincidence story. So, in about 2015, I think it was. Yes, 2015. I got a job at Jack Astor's. Oh my goodness. I was dishwasher. I've never experienced such a chaotic environment of dishwashing. This is in the heart of Square One Mall in Mississauga. Jack Astor's. So the traffic is intense. The foot traffic, the customers. There's a lot. And there's a lot of dishes. And it's so overwhelming that no one would be fired in that job. In the dishwashing job, at least. No one would get fired. People would just leave. It was like survival of the fittest. I held out. Booyah, booyah shaka, la ka, until I got fired for marijuana on the premises. We'll get into this story later. Though, yeah, I never experienced such a wild... I had a lot of dishwashing jobs after that, and never did something come close to that. After Jack Astor's, I felt lucky that that was where I started dishwashing, because then after that, everything just felt like a five-star hotel. So it was like survival mode, grounded, veteran difficulty on the final boss with 1 HP and 1 mana and 1 stamina and a wooden sword and a wooden shield with no armor in the wildy, getting ganged up by level 85 players as well. So there would be like swamp on the floor at the end of the night of food and mush and gush, like swamping around. In the summer, oh my God, there would be 5 dishwashers. That's how heavy it got, that we needed 5 people in the summer. And I would OD on coffee, like thinking it would do something. I just felt horrible. That was the first time in life I'm like actually drinking coffee like a madman, and I realized it doesn't work. You just feel like You just feel like nah. And there's this one guy, Raj. He was a legend. You don't mess with Raj, the dishwasher Raj. To him, he was on recruit. He was like, this is nothing, dude. And I'm like, dude, maybe it is nothing. Maybe if I went back, it wouldn't be that crazy. But I think it was crazy because everyone would leave. And afterwards, I went to a nightclub, Anco, when I was dishwasher. And then when I became busser, I would just constantly, well, even when I was still dishwasher, I would just constantly stress how crazy, like, I was probably getting annoying because I was just traumatized. I had like PTSD. I had to keep saying like, dude, Jax. Get in the... Jax, dude. Jax, man. Jax. So anyway, dude, you'd like be washing the dishes and then you'd get it all cleared. You get your little table cleared of dishes. You turn your head for a millisecond. You turn back, and it'd already be stacked to the very top, touching the top. And there'd be just you couldn't breathe. You couldn't stop for. You could breathe, but you couldn't stop for a second, or you're done. And all the dishwashers would be there till like 3 a.m. Everyone's gone. You still dishwashing. Jeez, mental. And like you'd come in, see a new guy for 3 days, they'd be gone. Then another guy, like a week, disappear. Another person, 2 days, disappear. And I'm like, I'm never gonna die. I will survive. Anyway, so I'm just doing my dishwashing. There's a lot of, it's like a party in the back. I would always, after that too, I'd always recommend kitchen. That was the first kitchen I ever worked in. I was like, guys, kitchen jobs are amazing. It's like a party in the back all the time. There's just the waiters, this guy Emilio, oh no, I won't say Emilio. Well, whatever, Emilio. Your name is Emilio now. So we'll call this guy Emilio. And he's like, go look online. I would look online where the chefs are. There'd be like 20 chefs. People saying the funniest things. Man, I'm going like 2,000 miles per hour, bro. So, just a great time in the back. Just a party all the time. Everyone's just jamming. It's just vibes. Party mode on. So, I forget how. There's a bunch of girls just found out somehow, I guess through conversation, when we were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, there's this girl who calls me Devonto. People call me Devonto from Toronto. And then all of a sudden it just spread and everyone would be like, Devonto. And then one day I'm doing the dishes and like a group of girls just come, the wait staff just come, and they go, Devonto from Toronto. They're just snapping at me like, Devonto. And it was just like, oh my goodness. It's getting old now. And I wasn't getting that old. But then, after a few days of this, like getting called Devonto and it's a joke, I go to the schedule and I look, try to find my name, Devin. Okay, my shifts. And then right below Devin, I see Devonte in capital letters. And there's no dates yet for Devonte. And I'm like, oh my God, it went this far. They're putting Devonte on the schedule now. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I go back to work, doing the dishes, getting slapped up, trying to survive the night. It's like wave. It's like zombies wave, man. You're like constantly on wave 52 all night, nonstop. And you got Raj just like, I'm on wave 0.2, dude. I'm on wave 0.2. So anyway, the next day comes. I'm walking to work. Do. I see the new chef. Hey, what's up? Yo, what's your name? Devonte. I'm like, what? Devonte's a real man? And apparently Devonte's a real man. And, he was a cool chef. He went to chef school. He went to competitions, apparently. See, I couldn't change Devonte's name because he's part of this story. So, Devonte and Emilio, you guys got your real names out there. And then I remember this one great moment between Devonte and I. Devonte and Devonto from Toronto. I will never forget this. I've remembered it to this day because this was a bar. Bars. He goes, yo. Well, no, actually, I come up to him and I go, hey, what's up, Devonto? He's like, nothing much. Just getting killed on the grill. Because the chefs also got destroyed. Like, what was the word? I'm in the I'm in the That was where I learned I'm in the or I'm swamped. Anyway. What's up, Devonto? He goes, oh, what's up, Devonto? Just getting killed on the grill. And then he says, what's up with you? And I say, oh, just getting bished on the dish. Bars. And he goes, ooh. And then we turn around and walk away from each other and we're like, ooh, in the studio, doing the big noise, making the big boys cry, making the little girls smile, making all the dudes get crazy for a little while, making the mans go, ooh, 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 why you doing this? Why you making me file you in the filing system when I'm smiling with them, when I'm making the mans and I'm making top miles quickly and I'm in the whip, see me going through, see me making the quick in the studio hits, making them flick the cigarette off. Anyway, yeah, that was the main thing in this story. To tell the story, and the punchline is getting killed on the grill, getting bished on the dish. It's a pretty dumb story. But basically, I don't know, coincidence or not. It's pretty weird. I guess I learned from that you may think things are it might get like things that might get you paranoid, things like that. Like, oh, they're putting me on the schedule now. And it's literally just an actual guy named Devonto is actually starting work at the exact same time people started learning about Devonto from Toronto, your nickname, and started making fun of it all the time. And it had nothing to do with each other. It had something to do with each other, but nothing like that. So there's been other times where there would be such a coincidence like that. I'm like, oh, that's about me from that and that thing that I said. And then you find out later it literally had nothing to do with it. So just be okay. But then again, maybe something could be part of what you said. And the same coincidence could be actually someone putting Devonto on the schedule because they think it's funny. And that's up to you to find out. And either way, it's okay. It's all okay. Anyway, silly story. Probably have a funnier one next time. So long, folks. Okay, I'm back. I have returned. Actually, I forgot to tell what happened when I got fired. And also, I was just thinking there's quite a few things to just pump out about Jack's stories I had there. So I'll just finish off this Jack's thing instead of making it like a Jack series. It's going to be one story. So I get fired. That's what happens. I'm getting good, I'm getting good at Dish. I'm like learning the trade. Dish is a respectable job, honest to God. Dish. Put some respect on the dish. We'll call this one guy from Anco Vino Reno. So Mr. Vino Reno, He came, he'd be like, yo guys, put some respect on the dish. Put some respect on the dish. Because the staff would just throw the plates, just throw them in random directions and be like, oh, put some respect on the dish. Put some respect on the dish. And I was like, it's my boy Reno Mino. Put some respect on the dish. And everyone would be like, yo, put some respect on the dish. It would be a phrase people would forget. And then another member would come and be like, put some respect on the dish. Anyway, I'm not jumping into Anko. Let's go back to Jax. Put some respect on the dish. Dish is a great job. I actually love dishwashing, honestly. I like doggy jobs too, taking care of dogs and dog walking. But when all else fails, just head on to the dish pit. Dish pit's real. It's like if the whole restaurant was a city, it'd be like the outside floor where everyone's sitting and eating is downtown. The back room is uptown, like Hell's Kitchen. The industrial area. The dish pit is the ghetto, the alleys, the dumpsters, where everything goes. The upstairs where management sits is the corporate area, the Wall Street area. I don't know. Silly things like that. Anyway, so okay, how I got fired. This is funny. This is actually good because these are all coincidences. These are all trippy coincidences, just in the same style, in the same vein, in the same energy and life force as the Devonto situation. So we have this epic head chef. We'll call him Tasta. We'll call him Tastaman, okay? This guy's Tastaman. Tastaman is a cool dude. And he'd always be laughing, always be making jokes. And one day, like I said, I'm getting good at the trade. I'm getting bearings up. I could do things like muscle memory, like shoo, shoo, shoo. I know where things go. I know how to quickly wipe things off, put them away, get it quick, get things done, smooth, getting smoother in it, getting more balanced, getting skilled at dishwashing. I'm like, dude, this ain't nothing now. It's like I upgraded in the Pack-a-Punch. I'm good on wave 52. It's not that big of a deal anymore. I could do it solo. I don't even have to camp. I know where to run. I know what circles to make. I know where the zombies go, So, okay. I have a little bit of cushion one's person. Not even a little. I had 2 grams or 3 grams or something. And it's time I finish early. There's rare times where I would finish early, where either it'd be not a busy night, or I just finish fast. And I finished early this night, earlier than chefs and stuff. I think I finished earlier than chefs, or there were just chefs staying there. But anyway, I finished earlier than the store closes. Usually the store would close, the whole restaurant would be closed by the time I was done, so I'd be the last one, But this time I got to go sit at the bar, and I was sitting with, I forget a few chefs. And oh my God, this is going to be an inception story, because this one guy at the bar, there's a few chefs at the bar, and we're all in our normal clothes again. I ordered a glass of wine, and there's so many things to say about Jax. So many things to say. So many stories I have, and I mean, not things to say about the restaurant, but I ordered a wine glass from this one bartender that I had a crush on. We'll call her Sticky. She was like married already, so. Then there's this other girl, let's call her Vitty. And Sticky and Vitty were friends. I had a crush on Sticky, but Vitty would make rude remarks at me, you know, like laugh at me and stuff, and like just like ugh kind of thing, like shoot. And I wouldn't even talk to her really. She just like automatically just took a disliking, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe she didn't dislike me. Maybe she just like had a weird attitude. But I don't know. It's all fun. It's all fun. It's all happy. It's just a little Vitty being a Vitty. Anyway, I ordered a glass of wine and I'm just chilling. We're talking. We got one guy on the left. Let's call him Rocky Gloss. We got Rocky Gloss on the left. And on the right we got, let's call him Jesus. So we got Rocky Gloss and Jesus, and I'm in the middle with my red wine. Vino Rosso, guys. With a bit of honey. Sometimes pour some cinnamon in that Vino Rosso glass of vino. Boom. Cinnamon, honey, and Vino Rosso, red wine. Not so much honey anymore, but I like the cinnamon still. So just chilling, and I get to talking to Jesus, and this is like the first time like we're really talking, and he starts telling me this story. Well, I see him like scrolling on Tinder, and I'm like, you use Tinder? Like I was just like, yo, you use Tinder? And he's like, yeah, with Tinder still. He's like, yo, but like these are bots and stuff, and he's just showing me how there's like bots, and I was like, oh, even like Tinder has bots, you can't escape those bots. Hey, message me on this site and this website for a good time. You can't see my pics here, but if you come to this link. So I'm drinking the Heine. I don't really drink, but I'm writing an album, and I'm in 1977 right now, so hi, welcome from 1977. How y'all doing up there in 2021? And I'm making the song, and I kind of got to be a little, I don't know, have a little beer because it's like 70s while I record. Anyway, so Jesus starts talking about just his life, and he starts telling this story about how he's like, so my cousin, right? He was gonna go sell a brick of weed, or like, who knows if it was actually weed, probably was. Like a lot of weed, pounds of weed or something. And he's like, yeah, so this guy was messaging him like, yeah, I'll buy it for blah, blah, blah. And it was a super low price, he's saying. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, and I'm like, no, I don't feel this is right. This is weird. Like, why would he be saying like such a stupidly low price? This doesn't make sense, right? He's like, no, I'm coming with you. He's like, no. And he says, oh, my cousin's like, no, don't worry. You don't need to come with me. And he's like, yeah, I'm coming with you. I'm bringing the gun too. I'm like, what? It's like, this guy's just like, I'm bringing the gun too. Oh, this is a gun thing. This is a situation like that. You're in this type of thing. You do this type of stuff. So, and Jesus is a cool dude, yo. He is a sexy boy. Jesus is a sexy. He has sexy hair. Jesus, you listening to this, you have sexy hair and you had cool shoes, man. Anyway, so he's saying they get in the car, you know, they start driving to this guy who's supposed to buy these pounds of weed for a wildly low price. Or I mean, no, a wildly high price or something like that. Yeah. That makes more sense. It was supposed to be a super good deal for Jesus's cousin. Like he was gonna sell like whatever for a lot of money, or buy a lot of drugs for a very small amount of money, something like that. Either way, they get in the car, they start driving to the place. But when they get there, he says, guy walks up We come out of the car. We go meet. Guy instantly pulls out a gun or something. I forget. I think he said the guy pulled out a gun right away and started shooting at them, but he missed. And then Jesus said he pulls out his gun and he's like, I could have shot him right in the face, he's saying, but I didn't want to catch a charge, so I just put it right beside his, like, holy, the computer, like, almost the computer just low batteried on, closed everything, and I thought, okay, everything's saved. Anyway, still recording, actually. So Jose's like, I could have shot him right in his face, but I didn't want to catch a charge, so I just put it right beside his ear and just plow, popped it off. And then they said they ran back into their car, they jumped in, and this guy's shooting through the windshield. Oh, they start driving away. This guy gets in his car with his boys, whatever. They start chasing them. They're on the highway, he's saying they're they're on the highway, guns out the window, shooting at each other. And I'm just like, holy. And he's like, there's bullet holes in the car and stuff. We're just on the highway, just shooting out the window at each other. Okay, somehow they get away from them. And Jose, I mean, and Jesus, and then Jesus and his cousin go, and then he's saying, like, I buried the gun apartment, and he's like, we know where this gun is. This is where it is. So there's a gun buried outside an apartment somewhere. I don't know, maybe they went and got it back. That was years ago. So that was weird. I'm like, whoa, cool story. And then that's when Vitti yells from the bar, last call or closing time or whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, it's 2 a.m. already. So I turned to, what did I call him? Rolly Gloss or whatever the heck I said. Rolly Gloss. I turn to Rolly Gloss to the left and I go, yo, look what we're about to do. And I pull out the cushion. I just show it to him, like, really low. And then I look up and we'll call this girl Vitti. So there's two Vittis. There's Vitti the bartender and then there's Vitti the manager. And I look up and there's Vitti the manager standing right there. And she goes, Devin, what was that? I put it in my pocket really fast. I go, nothing. But, like, I'm smiling, like, nothing. Like, I know you saw it. Like, I didn't think it was serious. I didn't think she gave a shit. Really, like, just, like, kind of just like, what was that, Devin, huh? But little did I know, it was an issue. Anyway, so she's like, okay. Walks away. I was like, oh, whatever. And that's when Ross Gloss starts going like, yo, you're fired, dude. You're fired. And I'm not listening. Like, I'm kind of like, I'm listening, but I'm just laughing. Like I'm thinking everyone's joking around. Like, yo, I think you're nuh-uh. And I was like, whatever. I think you're nuh-uh. Anyway, we go out, smoke that stuff. We smoke, whatever. High as a bum bucklet. We smoke with Jesus. We smoke with Ross Gloss. We smoke with a bunch of other guys. We'll call this one guy Leg Up. There's a guy Leg Up. There's, Homie. We'll call this guy Homie. There's friend. Everyone's there. We're just all smoking. And time to walk home. And I end up walking home with Jesus. And he's talking about, I don't usually dress fancy, but, like, when I do, I do. I like to dress fancy and stuff. I'm like, yeah, you look cool, man, And I'm so high, I keep saying I'm going to call an Uber home. And I'm getting, like, the vibe that he doesn't want me to see where he lives. So I'm just like, yeah, I'll call Uber and I'll be up there. And I'm so high that I keep forgetting to do it. I'm just walking, talking with him and listening to him and stuff. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got it. He's like, aren't you going to call the Uber? I'm like, oh, yeah. And then I get my phone out and I look at it. And then, like, I would just put it back in my pocket, like, That's how high I was. Anyway, so eventually I'm like, okay, oh yeah, okay. I got my head together. I'm like, okay, because like, I don't know, I was getting the vibe that he didn't want me to see where he lives. I've known a few people who like, I've driven around and they would tell me to drop them off here so I don't see where they live and stuff, like acting sketchy because they do stuff. Anyway, so I go home and this is a Friday, so I'm off Saturday, Sunday, and you'll probably guess the name from this, but on Monday it's Vitti Day. It's an actual day called Vitti Day. That's not the name of the day, but it's the name of the girl. You might find out, but it's just called Vitti Day. And on Vitti Day, Tastaman calls, the head chef, and he's like, Devon, don't worry about getting dressed, man. Just come in. And I'm like, yo, was Ross Glasser right? So I come in, and there's the one chef I'd always laugh with. We'll call him Gigi Boy. Gigi Boy just doesn't even look at me. He sees me walking, and he looks down at the floor to his left. And I'm like, dude, he always laughed with me. And this time he's not. So, and he was the one who was like, yo, if you don't got tattoos, he's like, back in the day, if you had tattoos, you couldn't get a job. And he would hire chefs. So he's like, yo, if you come to this job and try to get a job and you have no tattoos, you'll f off. Anyway, I go in. Tastaman's like, so you're fired. I'm like, what? He's like, for selling weed on the premises. I'm like, I wasn't selling. He's like, for having weed on the premises. Whatever. I'm like, whatever. So I get fired after getting caught by Vitti on Vitti Day. I'm like, whatever. Peace. Pop out the back door. It's a sunny day. Right when I pop out the back door, bzz, 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 I get a text from the boy. What did I call him? Johnny Manny? The drug buddy. He goes, yo, you want to come work at Anco? And I'm like, hey. And I'll say one more thing. I would stop the story here, but there's another funny thing that happened at Jack's where there was this one guy who first started as a busser. I'll call this guy Little Richard because he combed his hair like he did his hair like Little Richard. So, you know, womp bump a loo womp a womp bang boom. I got a gal named Daisy. Ooh, she almost drive me crazy. Ooh, I got a gal named Daisy. You know that to do me. She know how to love me, yeah she does. Baby, don't know what you do to me. Got a booty, oh booty, do the booty, oh booty, ooh, do the booty, oh booty. A womp bump a loo womp, a womp bang boom. Anyway, so Little Richard starts as a busser, and then I remember when I was working there, he moved up to front of house, like the guy who gives you your seats, takes the calls, whatever. And one day, this is when I was like a sketch. Like I would get paranoid at dumb things. Well, maybe not. Maybe this is not dumb, but like I checked my paycheck and I thought like I didn't get my paycheck or I was too low or something. So I like called Tommy. I'm like, well, I called Jax, and Little Richard picks up and he's like, yeah, Jax. I'm like, hey, it's Devon. Can I talk to Tommy? He's like, okay. Gives it to him. Tommy's like, hey, brother. I'm like, yo, Tom. Damn it. Tastaman.
Nuh-uh.
Tastaman. I don't care. I just dropped the name. Tastaman. Tastaman's like, what happened? I'm like, I think the paycheck is kind of off. He's like, well, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. And then like I was like, okay, I'll check. And then hang up. Because after I hung up, I started checking. And then I'm like, oh, damn it. It's actually right. So I called back to say like, oh, yo, tosta man, like, never mind. I'm stupid. The check's fine. And little Richard answers and he's like, and I'm like, yo, little Richard, can I have Tommy? He's like, yo, Tommy said, take the day off today. Because I was supposed to go in like an hour. He's like, tosta man. I was sitting outside in the parking lot. I didn't even go in to say it. I was just like sitting outside in the parking lot. I think I was writing scripts in the car, so I was just like out there for like an hour or two before, just writing a script or whatever. Anyway, so he's like, Tommy said, take the day off and go get some poom poom. We just started laughing. I'm like, peace. He's kind of just like, yo, brother, stop tripping, just go get laid or something. And then I call back little Richard, and I'm like, and he's like, jackassers. I'm like, yo, can I speak to Tommy, please? Can I speak to Tosta, man? And he goes, Wig. I don't know you, Wig. I'm like, what? I just want to talk to Tosta, man, dude. What are you saying? And then he's like his attitude just changed. I don't know. I guess like just like he's like, dude, I'm on the job, man. I don't talk like that. I want to walk back there and back and forth, man. What do you mean? Anyway, that's it. And that's when I went to Anco, like, a week later. That little Richard thing happened way before, but I got fired, so went to Anco, and from there made the most money I ever made in a job. We will have that in another part. Anco stories. Bye-bye. Let's dance in style, let's dance for a while. Heaven can wait, we're watching the stars. Looking for the best, but expecting the worst. Are we gonna drop the bomb?